Hi, my name is Serena. Welcome to my channel. I love talking about all things self-care. So if that is what you are looking for, then you've definitely come to the right place. If you are a newbie, welcome. Good to see you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you know every time I post. And if you are a subscriber, welcome back. It's good to see you again. I've got some wonderful content for you today. So let's jump straight into it. So today what I want to talk to you about is 6 simple ways to restart your self-care routine, because I know what it's like. Life is stressful. You may start the year or you may start a new month and think, right, I'm really going to prioritize self-care. And then all these little things get in the way and all these big things get in the way. And before you know it, you're worn out, you're burnt out, you're tired, you haven't been looking after yourself, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, how did I get in this space? It's perfectly normal. It happens to all of us. It happens to the best of us. We can get knocked off track, but the fantastic thing is we can restart the routine and build it up and probably even create an even better routine than we started with. You don't need to worry. And you don't need to wait for the new year to start. You don't even need to wait for a new month to start. You can restart at absolutely any time. And I think that's the beauty and simplicity of self-care, is that you can restart at any time. But sometimes you need a few tips if you're out of practice. So today we're going to go through 6 simple ways to restart your self-care routine. You ready? Here we go. Number 1, I'm actually going to focus on your physical self-care with this one. And I'm going to say, book a checkup with your GP. If it's been ages, like years, since you've been to the GP for a checkup, why not book one just to make sure everything is okay? I personally have a checkup once a year just to check my iron levels and to check everything else. Iron in particular, because I tend to have very low iron. If you haven't had a checkup in a long time, if you're feeling tired, if you're feeling groggy, if you feel like something's not quite right, don't put it off. Book an appointment with your GP for a checkup just to make sure that everything's all right, because it could simply be that you are low in different nutrients or vitamins, and they might say, oh, well, try this or try that. Now, I'm not a healthcare professional. Let me just say this. I'm not giving you medical advice. This is a suggestion based on something that I do, which I find really useful. And I just think it's a good habit to get a checkup at least once a year, more if you know you have specific conditions. But it's a great way, I think, also to restart your self-care routine, because physical health is so important. If we're not feeling physically fit, it's very difficult to get up and do things. If you have had a checkup and you do have regular checkups, that's great. Then I would maybe suggest, why not speak to a nutritionist, or why not try a new exercise plan? Do something physical that's going to help to kickstart your self-care routine. Number 2, a really, really easy way of restarting a self-care routine is to take a self-care challenge. You can find them in so many different places. I know I sell some on my Etsy shop, but you can also just Google and find things online, or go onto Pinterest and just find a simple self-care challenge. I usually do a self-care challenge about twice a year. So usually I do one in April and I do one in November, where you've got the turn of the seasons. And I normally do a 30-day one. Self-care challenges are super easy to do. You have maybe 20 or 30 squares. I usually do the 30-day one. And for each square or for each day, you do a simple act of self-care for that day. And it can be really simple things. It could be like going for a 10-minute walk, so getting some fresh air outside. It could be just taking some deep breaths, inhaling and exhaling, and just taking time to be mindful and present in the moment. It could be actually making sure I'm going to make myself a healthy lunch for this week. It could be making sure you get to bed early. It could be creating a playlist. It could be watching your favorite movie. It could be watching a comedy show. It could be going out to brunch. It could be picking some flowers. These are super, super simple things to do. Some take you less than 10 minutes, but I think they're an excellent way to restart your self-care routine. So if you're looking for somewhere to start with a self-care challenge. Number 3, book some me time. Book some alone time, away from friends, away from family, away from work, away from any stresses that you have, to just take time to relax. So that could be like a spa day. That could be like going in the countryside for a walk. That could be going to your favorite cafe, or finding a new cafe or cake shop and having a sit down and taking a moment to just reflect and deep breathe in, and to remember what your goals are and what your values are, and to write those down so that you can start to realign with what you want to achieve in life. So taking that quiet time to maybe pamper yourself, or just to reflect when nobody's around, where it's just you and you don't have anybody vying for your attention. Make sure you take some time out so that you can reflect, write down your goals again, write down your values again, and start to put them at the forefront of your mind so you can begin to start to think, okay, what am I going to need to put in place to make sure that I'm back on track while I look after myself. Number 4, spend some time in prayer or gratitude journaling or meditation. Now, for me as a Christian, praying is something that I do every day, and it just humbles me to be able to take a moment to say, dear God, and know that there's somebody higher, there's a being higher than me that really has my best interests at heart, and I can tell all my problems too. Also, as a Christian, for me, meditation is me reading Bible passages and listening to gospel music and just reflecting on that and internalizing it and accepting the promises and the good news and the hope that I get from that. And that's how I do meditation. You can do whatever works for you, but taking that time to just sort of reflect and feed into yourself and reflect on your faith and your values again. Taking that time out to pray, to reflect, to gratitude journal, and to meditate is a really great way to restart your self-care routine, because it just puts you in the right frame of mind and the right focus to be able to start looking after yourself better. Tip number 5, start a journal. Now, I spoke about gratitude journaling for the last tip, but also just a general journal. If it's not something that you already do, I think it's a great way to restart your self-care routine, because you're documenting your progress, but also writing down your ideas and putting those into practice. And it helps you to be more reflective, as we've spoken about before, but also to really think about the things that you need to implement in the different areas of your life, and to reflect on what's going on now. So actually putting pen to paper, so you have your just physical reflection where you're just thinking, but now you're having your journal where you're writing about how you feel and putting pen to paper, and that makes a fantastic difference. So if you haven't already started journaling, or you've sort of dropped off the wagon of journaling, I would definitely recommend starting to journal as a way to restart your self-care routine. And finally, tip number 6, plan and act. So once you've gone through the other tips, you've taken a self-care challenge, you've had a checkup to make sure you're all right, you've realigned with what your goals and your values are, you've started to reflect and spend time in prayer and journal and meditate, it's time to set a plan of action. Once you've done those things, you're going to feel so much better, and you're going to be in a much better position to set clear goals, but not just set clear goals. From those goals, set a plan of action in terms of your self-care, what you're going to do daily, what you're going to do weekly, what you're going to do monthly, what you're going to do quarterly, what you're going to do yearly. Self-care challenges are simple things that you can do each day, but there are also bigger things that you may need to plan if you've got really big goals, or even if you've got small goals. You still need to plan and put in that time to be able to achieve those goals. So there you have it, 6 really simple, really easy tips to restarting your self-care routine that you can literally start immediately. If you want any more information or any more advice, you want me to expand on any particular area, please let me know in the comments, and let me know how your self-care routine is going at the moment. What do you feel like you need to focus on? How can I help you? Take care. I will see you soon. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And all the very best with your self-care routines. God bless. Bye.